Hello everyone. Today we're going to do some pulled pork on the smoker. I have here two pork shoulders, commonly known as a Boston butt in the store. If you're looking for, sometimes they say Boston butt, sometimes it says pork shoulder, and they're both the same cut of meat. And what I've done here is I've just sort of removed the fat cap on the one side, cut it down to just about the meat. Didn't go any deeper than that, but I wanted to get that fat cap off so I can get some spice rub and some smoke into the meat on that side. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do these with a light coat of yellow mustard for a binder. I'm going to use a pork rub. I'm using this Maynard's Memphis barbecue rub, and that's pretty good salty barbecue flavor to it. I'm also going to add a little heat with the Texas peat dust, and I'm going to put these on the smoker and let them go at about 225, 250 until they hit a internal temperature of about 160. At that point I'm going to wrap them, and I'm going to wrap it up. I'm just going to mix a little apple juice and a little Shane's spicy barbecue, just to add a little extra heat to these, because these are big cuts of meat. And I'm going to wrap them up and continue them on to finish them out. So that's pretty much the setup. I got the grill going. I'm going to get these prepped with the mustard and the dry rub and take you out to the grill. I'll be back for the next step. Alright, so I just wanted to show you this step real quick. I got the mustard all on there. And now I'm going to go on with the Maynard's, and I'm just going to get a good coating all over. I'm going to move it around. I'm not going to do that with the camera, of course, but get a good coating, kind of pat it in a little bit, and then I'm going to do just a light coating of the Texas peat. Again, this is pretty hot. I'm also using the spicy. I don't want these too hot, but I do want them to have a little bit of heat. Okay, so I'm going to do that all the way around on both sides, top, bottom, front, side, and back, all that. And then I'll take them out to the grill and get them ready. There's really no reason to let them set very long. They're going to be sitting on the smoker for a long time, so you really don't have to let those sit and do anything special. They're just going to be cooking in the same thing for probably, well, these are about 5 pounds each, so they said it's about an hour per pound, so somewhere around 5 hours it's going to take for these to cook. So I'll be right back out at the grill and we'll get these fired up. Alright, so we're out here at the grill, and this is the way you want them to look, all salted up, coated, completely coated everywhere around. Make sure you don't miss a spot. And today we're going to be doing this on the Traeger smoker, and I've got this set at 225, and it's bouncing around 205 up to 260 as you see it now, and it's gotten as high as 275 and then goes back down again. So we're just going to go ahead and place these on the grill. And I'm doing this fat side down. That's where the fat cap was. And I'm just putting that fat side down so all the good tender meat can be exposed. So I'm going to put those on, close up the grill here, and I'm going to let those go until they hit about 160. Then we're going to come back for the wrap, and I'll let you know how long that takes. Be back when that happens. Okay, so we are just past the 2-hour mark, and for the first couple hours there's no real need to monitor the internal temperature of the meat. But now that it's been up for a couple hours, I suspect it's getting up over 100 degrees, and now I want to start monitoring the temperature. So I've got my alarm set here for 160. And we're just gonna, and I have 2 probes here, so I'm just gonna use them. You don't really need 2 probes. Whatever one's doing, probably the other's doing the same thing. So I don't think you really need the 2 probes, but since I have them, I'm just gonna put them in there. And one is a little bit thicker than the other, so it might. So I'm just gonna put those right about in the center. Try not to hit any bone or anything. These are looking really good. Let's see where we're at here. Right around 140 on the smaller one. Yeah, the smaller one's actually getting close to being done, and the other one's going to be probably another probably 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes more. So we're going to go ahead and close that back out. I probably shouldn't have let that go so long. And I might actually have to pull that up. I'll watch the temperature. If it gets up too high, I'll probably pull that off and check it then. So I'm going to come back right when the other one's ready to go, and we'll get ready to wrap them up. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that other one off and get it wrapped. So I just went ahead and made my liquid for my foil wrap, and I just used 1 cup of Shane Spicy and 1 cup of apple juice. Gave it a good mix, and I'm going to use about 1 cup on each of the pulled pork roasts. So I'm going to get that ready. Going to go pull it in here, get it wrapped up, and get it back on. The smaller one really is cooked a little bit faster. It's about done. I checked in several places, so I'm going to get that off, bring it in here, and show you how to wrap it. Alright, so this one's about 170 right now. Remember, the overall temperature that we're going for in the end is about 195. So if it goes over a little bit over 160, it's not that big a deal. But at 160 is a good time to go ahead and wrap. And what I did here was I put that sauce mix in a little squirt bottle, so I wouldn't put too much on. And you can do the same thing, or you can just spoon it on with a good sized spoon. What you don't want to do is you don't want too much. You just want to get a little liquid on here. And like I said, a cup is just a ballpark amount, depending on the size of your pork shoulder and all that. But I'm just going to get this kind of doused down a little bit. This is going to let off a lot of juice of its own, and a lot of the fat's going to start breaking down as it cooks as well. Alright, that's pretty good, and that was maybe 3/4 of a cup. And all I'm going to do is just wrap this up the best I can. And what I'm going to do here is just try to make a little boat. And I'll put another layer of foil on top. But the key to the wrap is nice and tight with no leaks. I'll put another one on top just to cover it back up, and we'll get this one back on the smoker. So let me get that ready, and we'll be back when the other one's about ready to come off. Alright, so we just hit 160 on the other one. It stopped raining now, so I can go ahead and wrap this out here. It was sprinkling a good bit earlier, so I did the first one in the kitchen. Again, we're just gonna give this a good coat. Again, another 2/3 a cup, half cup, 2/3 cup. Alright, that ought to do it. Now we want to set this to 195. Same for the top one. And I'm just going to put these right back in. Close it up. And we'll be back when they're ready. Alright, so the first one finished about 15 minutes ago. It hit 195. And now this one's saying it's 195. Now what you want to do is two things you want to do here. First, you want to go ahead and check a couple other places. Yeah, make sure that you're in there. And another thing you want to do is whenever you go to push in your probe, don't do what I did over here on the other one. I poked in it too far and I lost a lot of my juices. So I was really mad about that. So definitely try not to do that. This one's ready to go. I'm gonna see if I can't get it off here. With these tongs. Alright, so I'm going to take that inside, bring the other one in, we'll open them up and see how they look. Alright, so I got them inside. I got this one opened up a little bit. You can see all the juice that's in there. And it looked like I was able to save a good amount on this one. I didn't lose too much. Let's see if this bone will come out. Should just slide right out. Well, it wasn't even attached. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a couple forks, break that up and combine it with the juice and get it ready and serve up some sandwiches. So as soon as I get this one out, I'll probably put them both in one bin. What I'm going to do is freeze some of this. And I'm also going to make another Brunswick stew recipe. So gonna have plenty to work with here, so I'll be right back when I get this torn up. All I'm gonna do is take two forks and shred it up. Alright, so you might find it easier to go ahead and cut off a few small pieces and break it up on a cutting board, then add it back to the juices. And I just wanted to show you how tender and juicy this turned out. Turned out excellent. You can see the smoke ring right around here. It's a little bit stronger in different areas. There's a good view of the smoke ring right there. And again, you can just pull it apart. It pulls apart nicely. It's really hot. If you let it cool a little bit more, you could do this with your hands. I don't really have any gloves. That's really made for this. So I'm doing it with the forks. And again, get it started with a knife and work on it with smaller pieces. You can break this up as much as you want. If you are going to freeze some, I'm going to take a couple hunks, keep it in larger pieces. If you're going to freeze it, it'll stay more moist that way. So, but other than that, I'm just going to continue breaking this up, get it ready for some sandwiches. I'm going to toast up some Texas toast bread for these sandwiches and let you show that. Also, the bones here did come out clean. They didn't have much bones. They really weren't that big. I'm going to save these for the Brunswick stew. I'm not going to toss those. Even though they're so small, they probably won't do much. But I'll be right back when I got the sandwiches ready to go. Alright, so I got that all broken up. I've got all the liquids back reabsorbed into the pulled pork. As you can see, there's very little sitting at the bottom. So this is all ready to go for sandwiches. It's still a little warm, not hot like it was earlier. I have here some Shane's barbecue sauce heated up, and I'm just going to get enough for a sandwich, and I'm going to toss it in that sauce. Now you can put anything you want on these. Pickles, coleslaw, cheese, whatever you want. I just kind of like it plain. Sometimes I like it with pickle as well. Alright. You can also use any kind of bread you want. I'm doing Texas toast here today. You can also use a hamburger roll, a brioche roll, whatever you want. Well, it didn't cut very good, but just wanted to show you the inside. Traditionally, I don't even cut them, but I did want to show you what it would look like on the inside. But there you go, pulled pork sandwiches. A good pulled pork roast. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you give it a try, and as always, thanks for watching.